Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the AutoTrader Podcast, South Africa's #1 motoring podcast. My name is George Mienie, and as usual, joined by none other than Wandile Sishi.
Hey,
Have you seen that dude on Instagram?
Which one? Kabi. Yeah, no, I have. Definitely.
He doesn't talk.
Who else? I mean, probably everyone in the world has probably seen him. And here we are for another show, so I'm super excited.
None other than Wandile Sishi. Kabi should come and do that to Wandi. Anyway, so Wandi, how are you doing?
Not too bad. So I'm feeling good because in the F1 calendar right now, Hamilton is on his way.
He's not leading yet.
He's not leading yet, but 14 races. If he wins the next two races, and who's this? And Max comes.
What if Max comes second for the next two?
Then it's going to be tied for the last race. Then we'll have a showdown.
I think that's potentially a good thing.
It is. It's a good thing for racing. It's a good thing for...
Oh, of course you would say that.
Ratings, racing, and for fans. I think it's going to be...
Yeah, I think the worst thing for Formula One is when the race is decided before the last race.
Yeah. That it kind of takes away a lot of
takes away the excitement.
Yeah.
You know.
But the nice thing is when this show is, we'll probably be on the third show. Well, the last race. So
okay.
We'll see how
our timing works.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're not here to talk about Formula One. I've become a bit of a Verstappen fan, to be honest, because he's matured.
He has. I mean, we used to talk about him years back.
Verkrashen.
We used to just laugh.
He almost did a Verkrashen thing in the last race. On that.
I watched the footage back, and I think he didn't deserve the penalty. To be honest, coming from me, I think that says a lot. I think he was racing very hard.
You think he was racing?
Very hard.
Okay. Yeah. Well.
Anyways.
Anyway, that be that. So today is today's show is very much focused on selling your car.
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
And we're going to call the show the private or trade. Should you sell your car privately, or should you sell your car to the trade? And we're going to define what those are in a couple of minutes' time.
Yeah.
Is it better to trade in? Is it better to sell your car direct to a consumer? What options do you have out there?
Yeah, I think that's a big one.
And what are the pros and cons? Because I think that's a big consideration as well. And what are the options available? Have you sold a car in your life?
I've never sold a car. I've only bought one. So I don't. This is news to me, which is why I'm so excited to get into this, because I think I'm going to get to a point where I need to sell a car and I don't know what is the best option. And I think I don't think one's better than the other. I think it's really just depends.
Well, I think there's a lot of considerations. So if you take a look at the reasons why people sell their cars.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you, if you had to sell your car, what would be the typical reasons if you're selling your car?
I think there's two main reasons which most people would be experiencing. One would be I'm either buying a new car, so I'm selling this one for cash.
Replacement.
Exactly. Or I'm trading it in to finance the next car. And the second option would be I just need the cash.
Okay, so besides the cash, changing cars, is it just replacement? Or do you think a lot of consumers replace their cars because their lifestyle changes? Like going from a sedan to an SUV, or
I think both, depending on who you ask. I think most consumers are in a situation where their lifestyle changes, a baby comes, along the way, or
you get older and you need a higher car,
or you're going through a midlife crisis and you need a foster car.
Yeah, we need a top, one that the roof can come down.
Exactly. So I think depending on those sort of scenarios and the life or the stage that you're in may, kind of dictate which method you go with.
I must just tell you. Before we get into the detail of the show, Maserati gave me the 2 liter, I think it's called the Geely.
Yeah.
Maserati. It's not Maserati. It's Maserati in South Africa. It's Maserati.
There's been some whispers around. I did hear a few people saying that George might be, driving an ICE engine. Let me just put it on the record.
ICE. Yes, it is an ICE. I mean, let me put it out there. I am not a anti-ICE. I'm not. I'm not an activist.
Yeah.
I love ICE vehicles. I mean, freaking hell, one of my favorite cars is a V8. So I'm not anti-ICE. I just think the way of the future is EVs.
Yeah.
But be that as it may, this particular Maserati, Let me just see. Is this thing on
Is it your first time driving a Maserati?
Ghibli? I don't even know how to pronounce this. Maserati Ghibli.
Yeah, I think it's Ghibli.
Ghibli, yes, Maserati Ghibli, which is the hybrid version.
Okay.
That was the first time I'd ever driven a Maserati.
Okay.
Now, same family as Ferrari. Okay, so it's probably I don't want to call it the cheaper because the 1.6 million rand is not cheap.
Yeah.
At the base model, and 2.5 million rand is not cheap.
Yeah.
And you can probably buy a Ferrari for 2 million rand.
I mean, probably, yeah. I know Ferrari is actually
Ferraris.
launching a cheap
Ferraris,
option.
cheap Ferraris for 2 million rand. So you can probably buy a Ferrari for 2 million, but
On AutoTrader, of course.
of course, go and look on AutoTrader. Let's have a look. AutoTrader.
I'm sure there is.
Ferrari. See, I mean, we even say it wrong. Ferrari.
We're not Italian. You can't expect us to,
There are 202 Ferraris on AutoTrader.
Any under
Most
2 million?
expensive for 14.9 million, 15 million rand.
Okay.
And if I flip the search toggle to low high, cheapest one, 600,000, which is Ferrari Wandile.
Okay. So you can definitely get one for under 2 million. So if you're in the market, there you have it. But George, come on, let's talk about selling a car.
Yes, we're going to talk now. Tell you about the Maserati. So Maserati gave this car to me for the weekend.
Yeah.
Right? It's a hybrid. So the only way you can tell this car is a hybrid is with the blue accents on the badges around the car. But what a beautiful car. Just the Italian design work inside. I mean, it's not the fastest car on the planet.
Yeah.
Maserati is not designed to be quick. I mean, it's quick enough. I think it'll give a GTI a go. Let's see. Maserati hybrid 0 to 100. I think I looked this up the other day. Maserati GD 0 to 100. And it does 4.7 seconds. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Maserati GV hybrid 0 to 60. Sorry, 6.1 seconds. 6.1 seconds. And then Golf GTI. It's always the comparison. 0 to 100, which is then does it in 0 to 100 for a Golf GTI.
I'm gonna guess and say 7.
You're gonna guess and say 7.
I think I'm being quite harsh there. It's probably less.
Let's have a look. Let's see whether the 1D's right. How fast is the GTI?
No,
0 to 60, 5.6.
5.6.
So 6.1 versus 5.6. So the GTI is slightly faster, like by 0.5, like half a second.
Yeah. But that's not where Maserati is trying to play.
It's not trying to play there, no.
Yeah.
But for a hybrid, that's good going. I mean, the fuel consumption was okay.
Yeah.
But the thing about the Maserati is the design and the
attention to detail.
And the stitching inside the car and the dash. It's just when you get in that car, you can feel that it's an Italian-made car. Anyway, let's move on to buying and selling cars. But I thought I'd just tell you.
I'm so jealous. So we'll definitely take this offline. Maybe a drive offline as well.
Well, I don't have it anymore. I'm getting a special car potentially next week.
Yeah.
Which I'll tell you about. But anyway, let's not get sidetracked. Buying and selling cars. So if you're looking to downscale or sell your car for whatever reason, there are a couple of options. And I think for me, what is the most important thing when selling a car?
I think there's 3 things.
Yeah.
Time, convenience, and how much cash I'm gonna get
price.
back.
Yeah, exactly. So time, convenience, price. So in the couple of ways that one can sell a car, those 3 factors make a difference.
It's almost a scale across the 3.
But there are definitely 2 price ranges that kind of dictate what a car is valued at. And the first one is trade. So what can I sell it to the trade for? And the other is retail. What can I sell it to the retail for? So who is the trade?
I'm assuming the dealership in this case.
Dealerships are trade. So dealerships will have to buy cars to sell cars. Where do they get those cars? They get those cars from the consumer.
Yeah.
Selling cars. Traditionally, before the internet, cars used to be traded in. You've obviously never traded in a car. That used to be the way to sell a car to the traders. You go to your local dealership, you get the dealership to give you a valuation on the car, you trade it in on a different model. Or
you say traditionally, what made the sort of change to a point where now it's not necessarily that way? Is it just the options? Is it better for consumers now to go the other way, or like is there a specific?
Well, there's a lot more optionality now in the world where consumers can sell to or get prices from multiple dealers, and we'll get into that in a second. Whereas traditionally, before the internet, you would have to go, if you wanted multiple values on the trade side of your car. Remember, the trade is on the lower end. Dealers have to make a profit. You've got to be accepting of that. Dealer's not going to pay you retail for your car.
Of course not, or else they won't be making any money.
They've got to retail the car at a profit. So they're not going to give you retail for the car, and the margins on new vehicles are very low. Margins on used vehicles slightly higher, but still, the dealers battle to get those margins out of single digit territory. So traditionally, you would have to go to one dealership, then the next dealership. Now you can imagine you'd probably only do that in your local area.
Of course, you wouldn't be driving like to Joburg or 100 Ks out to sell your car.
There's some international studies that say consumers are not willing to travel more than about 60 kilometers.
I can believe that.
In their purchasing cycle, which means that if you go 60 kilometers now from here to Pretoria, Joburg to Pretoria.
Basically, And that's even pushing it, right? That's like the guy who really is just an avid. But here's the thing. I think with that being said, one of the biggest nuances that trading in has, or benefits it has, is the time. If you want to get the money now, the trade-in done quickly, that's a huge plus.
It's a huge factor. It's a huge factor because if you go and you trade your vehicle in or trade it. Now, traditionally, the word trade in means I was trading it for another car. Okay. That word has kind of morphed into not so much trading it in for another car, unless you're buying a new vehicle, or you can go and buy a new vehicle and trade your other one. So traditionally, you would have to go from dealership to dealership to go and get trade prices. And also traditionally, you would go to the dealership if you saw a car that you liked and you wanted to buy the car. So the driving force was the car you were buying. In today's world, it doesn't have to be the driving force, and I think that's one of the fundamental differences.
Okay, that's interesting. And there's a difference between trading in for a vehicle and selling your car to a dealership. Those are two different things, right?
Yes, that's why I say the definition of trade-in is kind of morphed into this selling your car to the dealership world, where traditionally it was really trading it for another car. Those things still happen, but they happen a lot less frequently now than they used to. Now consumers are much more savvy to, and the internet has created transparency. So trading in, its pure definition is trading it for another car. Then selling your car to a dealership is selling it to the trade. Now, in that world, there's a trade value.
Okay. And the trade in, with regards to
trading or selling it to a dealership, there's a trade in value. If you trade your car in on another car, right?
Okay.
Sometimes you can play with the price
a little bit more of the car
you're trade-in and the car you're about to buy.
Okay.
But it will come out in the wash.
It's
because if let's say the affordability might be a problem on the car that you're buying, the dealership could give you a discount on that car and give you slightly less on the trade-in. Yes. Okay. So there's a little bit of optionality in getting into the car that you want if you actually just trade your car in directly for another vehicle. So there's a bit of optionality. But a lot of most consumers now are going to sell their dealerships directly to the trade.
Okay. What's the difference with that?
Well, then you're going to get a trade valuation, trade price from the dealership that you sell to. And you're not selling it to the dealership to get another car. You might be buying a car from a different dealership or a new car from a different dealership.
Hypothetically speaking, let's say I wanted to trade in my vehicle, but I didn't know what the trade value is. What would you recommend the consumer does to ensure that this dealership that I've chosen, which is within the 60 kilometers, they're giving me a fair price with regards to how much I could potentially be getting if I went 100Ks.
So in today's world of valuations, 10 years ago, dealerships used to sit with this little book under the table.
Yeah.
You used to bring your car in. I don't have space to do this yet, but you used to bring your car in and they used to look at the car and then pull this book and page through it. And, as a consumer, you would never see this.
Yeah, no transparency
There's no transparency at all. And you'd be looking, go and evaluate the car, and then you'd actually maybe even go into the back office and the book would be lying there on that table.
Yeah.
And the trade and retail valuations would be inside that book. Unfortunately, that method of valuation is very flawed today, and the method of valuation that dealers use is called retail back valuation. Okay. So what can I sell the car for today, minus my profit, minus the reconditioning costs in the car? That's the trade value.
And for the consumer, in terms of transparency in that process, how do they know for a fact that they're not being duped or they can't get a better
very simple way. Go onto AutoTrader.co.za, and on the main menu is a car valuation button. Hit that car valuation button and go, and you can do a manual search. You don't have to put the VIN number in. You can do a manual search, and you will get a range.
Yeah.
The lower end range would be closer to trade, maybe with reconditioning costs, and the right hand side would be the full retail value that you could get if that car was in showroom condition. And I think that's the point, is very few people realize that the trade value of a car is affected negatively by your tire wear, for instance. If you go to a dealership and you want to sell your car and you've got 75% of your tires used, the dealer's going to calculate that 75% into the value of that they offer you.
And that's not necessarily, it will be cheaper for you or the consumer to go and get new tires than to go and sell with those tires with the weight.
In most instances.
Yeah.
Get your car into showroom condition. You've got much more negotiating power.
But then once again, that's kind of the pro of trading in, is the convenience. Sometimes people just want the money now and they don't have necessarily the money to go and,
yes,
but you get it now, which is
exactly. So on that front, AutoTrader is about to launch a product called Instant Offer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Instant Offer is you can get an instant offer through AutoTrader and our buying partners. Now, this is a beta launch. We're only doing it in a selected area, which is in Gauteng, and we're only doing it with a selected group of dealerships for now, so that we can perfect the product. And you can get an instant offer based on the trade value of your car. Now, that is instant, and that's what we're talking about, is the time, the convenience. Instant offer is designed to be easy, it's designed to be convenient, it's designed to be quick, it's designed for you to sell your car today.
And also knowing that it's going to be, the trade's actually going to go through and not be some random guy on the side of the road who's a tire kicker.
Exactly.
That's kind of the benefits.
Don't have to meet multiple people. We send one buyer out to you and to buy your car. And that's how this instant offer is going to work. So it's almost taking that convenience, time, and passing that benefit onto the consumer that wants the speed. You can sell your car today instantly for cash. And obviously the nuances around settling the bank finance and all that stuff come into play. Meet you at your house or at your office at your convenience. You don't have to drive to any dealership. We'll meet you at your house, and AutoTrader will be there.
Yeah.
And I think that's the other thing. AutoTrader will be there, so that you can trust what's happening. So that's on the very far, call it left-hand side, the trade side. And then if we move kind of further to the retail side, you start to get the retail offerings.
Okay.
So you can retail your car. You said you've never sold a car, but would you want price or would you want speed?
Depends. Once again, it depends on my situation. It could be. Look, I think a lot of people want a little bit of both. You don't want to, like, a week to sell a car. Sometimes it's kind of the sweet spot if you can wait that long and get more money. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So if you move to these auction platforms, for instance, right?
Yeah.
Auction platform doesn't necessarily get you the speed. because if you put your car on an auction platform, you have to wait until that auction actually occurs.
With regards to auctioning, do you almost guarantee a minimum?
You can put a floor price
Okay.
on the table. As a consumer in most auctions, you can say, well, I'm not going below this. That's where the offers must start. But the downside of an auction is you've got to wait.
Yeah.
So as a consumer, we tested this we had an auction going for the last year and a half. We tested this as AutoTrader. And the biggest inconvenience was consumers had to wait. So the auction didn't occur on the same day the consumer listed the car. You had to wait 3, 4, 5 days. Now you don't want a trade price and have to wait.
Yeah.
If you want a trade price, you want it today.
Yeah, exactly.
But then moving to the retail side, retailing your car comes with a couple of benefits, which is then price, as you point out.
Yeah.
But what downsides are there to retailing your car yourself?
Are you saying, when you say retailing, I just want to bring this down to the everyday person. Is this specifically selling privately, or is this retailing it like on a website, or is this more than anything doing it yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's no real mechanism today to retail your car other than to other consumers directly on a platform like AutoTrader.
Yeah.
Most other platforms will be skewed towards the trade side of the value of the car.
Yes.
Whereas on autotrader.co.za, you retail the car to other consumers.
Yeah.
So if you're selling your car in the trade, you're selling it to dealers. They're going to make a profit. The value is going to be lower, but you'll get speed and convenience. And that's what instant offer is about, speed and convenience.
But for price,
if you're on the price side,
straight
to the consumer.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you retail your car, there's a couple of options that AutoTrader offers. The one is sell your car the traditional way privately. You do all the paperwork, you see all the buyers. Inherently, what risks are there in that?
I think there can be a few risks, specifically on the who you're selling to side of things. Also, as a consumer, you may be dealing with a vehicle that's not the best in terms of
on the buying side.
From the buying side of. From a selling side, I think you'll be dealing with a lot of people who could be shady, could be not serious buyers. There's a few things that you kind of need to, kind of look out for, as well as just the paperwork, and the convenience is just not there if you're going to be selling it privately that way. But price, once again, is a great incentive to do a little bit of paperwork.
Exactly. So, I mean, we've got this sell your car privately. I think the rate starts at just under 500 Rand, or just over 500 Rand, where your car's on our platform. You deal with all the consumers, you deal with all the calls, you deal with all the process in selling your vehicle, and then we've got the self-help option. So we've got we call it Sell It For Me, and AutoTrader then vets the potential buyer for that you want to sell your car to. We help you with all the paperwork, the OTPs, and we help you in the process, which reduces your risk, and you still get a little bit more money. You still get closer to retail for the car.
Yeah.
Now, remember, retail value is very dependent on demand, and demand changes all the time.
Yeah. So
today, your car might be worth 200,000 Rand. In 2-3 weeks' time, your car might be worth 190,000 Rand. It might even go up. We saw that in the Hyundai Tucson example about 2 or 3 years ago. I think the Mercedes-Benz C-Class is like that now.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
The value of the used car actually goes up because demand is so high.
Bucky's are the same as well. So
exactly. So Wandile, which one would you choose?
I'm always going to be on the side of getting more money, but that also is dependent on how long it's going to take. I think I'd be interested to find out what's the average waiting time before a consumer goes, you know what, I'm just going to go for trading. But speaking from my point of view, I think I would give it about a week and a half before I start looking at other avenues. But my first choice is always going to be, first prize would be definitely get the money. But I think a lot of people just want convenience and speed. And that's why we're seeing so many different options for consumers coming up.
Well, I mean, we've now got the retail sell side, which is sell it for me or sell it yourself. And we're about to launch the trade value side, which is instant offer, which is speed. You're not going to get the retail value. You also, you're going to get full trade if your car is in showroom condition.
I think it's really important as someone who's trying to sell, at least, to look at all the options, because you don't want to get bullied. You don't want to get bullied into a scenario where you're not in control. And I think, traditionally speaking, like you're saying, now consumers have a lot of control with regards to what happens next, and it's good to see that sort of transparency and options are there.
Well, the transparency is definitely there. Since we've launched the car valuation, you go to autotrader.co.za/car-valuation. You can go get a value range on your car.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, we can't tell you exactly what your car is worth because we don't know the condition of the car. The condition of the car plays squarely into its value.
Of course, yeah.
If your car is on, I spoke to somebody yesterday, day before yesterday. Spoke to somebody who has a Polo Vivo. Young guy like you, has a Polo Vivo, and he's had this car for a couple of years. He bought it secondhand. I think it was a 2012 model, Polo Vivo. It's got 40,000 Ks on it.
Wow, jeez.
It's nothing.
Yeah, it's.
And he was asking me, should I sell it? Should I keep it?
Yeah.
I said to him, if that car is in showroom condition,
he's going to get a really decent
you're
price.
probably going to get very much over the trade value.
Yeah, definitely.
Because of the condition of the car, because the dealer's going to be able to sell that over retail because of the condition and the mileage of the car. And mileage is a massive factor.
Yeah.
We see it all the time in our data.
Not so much your model. More so mileage.
I mean, you look at the data all the time.
Yeah,
so,
definitely. That's big. Mileage is probably the biggest factor. But I mean, once again, like you're saying, tire wear, the interior needs to be in decent shape.
Yes.
And that's gonna, kind of get you closer to that. As a retail, closer to the retail side than the trade side. I think there's so many things that you need to consider.
Well, that's why there's that sliding scale, right?
Of course.
It's bad condition of car, high mileage. You're going to get under trade.
Yeah.
Dealer's going to take that into account. You're going to find a dealer who's going to buy the car from you in every single scenario, but the price is going to be the variable.
Yeah, and obviously the demand or the rarity of the vehicle is also going to impact.
It's going to impact price, exactly. So where the demand is high for a particular variant, you're going to get slightly above trade.
In your expert opinion and from experience, what do you think is the best option for a consumer? Very loaded question.
It's a very loaded question. Very, very loaded question. I think in South Africa today, I don't want to talk down our sell it yourself product. Okay.
Of course. Yeah.
If you really if you sell the car on AutoTrader's platform and you do it yourself on the sell it yourself product, which is you deal with the calls, you deal with the consumers, you deal with the paperwork, all that stuff. There is a way to lower your risk. Meet in a public place. Don't allow the buyer to, move the location. Meet in a place that's secure. Make sure that the money clears your bank account before you let the car go, because possession is 9/10 of the law. Don't hand over the NATIS documents until you've really got all the money. So there's ways to secure your, or should I say, lower the risk.
Yeah.
But I think from a retail point of view, the best middle of the road option is the sell it for me option that we have on our platform, which is AutoTrader helps you with all of that stuff and lowers the risk for you as far as possible.
Yeah.
But that doesn't get you speed.
It
doesn't get you speed. It might take week, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, depending on the variant, and the demand for the car for you to get your retail value. And then you might not get retail value. You might get under retail value depending on the condition of the car too.
Yeah.
So if you really want speed and you want to sell your car quickly, instant offer.
Okay.
I'm going to go for instant offer right now because it's brand new. It's like a new shiny toy.
Definitely. But like everything, basically, that we always speak about, it depends. It depends ultimately on what What's more important to you?
Speed?
Time, convenience, or speed?
Yes.
Or time, convenience, and price.
Price, exactly. It's, and we're really excited about this product, Instant Offer, because
it's going to change.
It's really, it's designed to help the consumer sell their car quickly. And we've now partnered with a whole lot of dealers to buy cars from consumers.
Yeah.
And again, I'll stress it's not an auction.
Yeah.
We will get you the best offer first time. It's not a bidding auction.
You just receive one price that's the best price, and not necessarily.
You got to believe AutoTrader that is the best price you're going to get.
Yeah.
From the trade.
Yeah, definitely.
And then hopefully we can scale this product. Once we've learned.
Yeah, I think a lot of people need to understand what's available to them. And this is just one new thing that's going to definitely help a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, so selling your car privately or selling it to the trade, it's just become easier. We've made it easier with instant with sell it for me.
Yeah.
On the retail side, now we're making it easier.
Would you say instant offer squarely in the middle between those two?
No, instant offers. Yeah. I mean, I would say it's kind of like because of the number of partners that we're partnering with.
Yeah.
You're going to get the best trade value that you could get.
Okay. That's we want to make sure that you get the most money.
Yes. And
as fast as possible.
Exactly.
Under those conditions.
When you get an offer from Instant Offer, it's going to be the best trade offer that you can get.
Okay. Well, let's see what happens. I think a lot of people are going to be interested. I can't wait to see its rollouts, and hopefully it'll be around the country soon.
And remember, an indicative offer in the market is not an offer. When the person comes out and actually gives you the price on your premises, that's the offer. Price, yeah. Yes, and that's where we've squarely focused.
Amazing.
So let's see how it goes. But I'm excited. It's now consumers have options. Sell your car to the trade. Sell your car to the retail.
Interesting. Very, very interesting talk. I think a lot of people are gonna take a lot from this. I didn't know that there were so many options, so it's good to know.
Good stuff. That's all we have time for. So, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, hit that like button, subscribe to the AutoTrader Podcast. And my name is George Mienie, and that has been Wandile Sishi.